what dying on every drug feels like. I low-key wonder, what is it like dying off like, bro, that's gotta be like bad. What would be the worst one? Probably or weed. Not definitely because you take like a single 0.1 of a gram and you gone. And imagine take like a full gram of fat. GG's. Weed. I don't think anybody's ever died off of weed. You barely feel it though? Yeah, I mean, hopefully if your fucking nerves kick in and they're like, all right, we're shutting down, and then you're gone. And at this point, it's poison. No, it literally is. Nobody's died on fat. There is no Warren Bossing statement, bro. What the hell? It's literally the top drug people have died on in like the motherfucking US in the past like 2 years. Nah, fat is totally harmless, y'all. Everybody here, okay, man, we all having it. It's healthy. It's a part of your balanced breakfast. All right, let's go ahead and play this stuff. I love for real. By the way, that's a joke. YouTube and Twitch.
Pencil incident. Shrooms are a natural psychedelic that cause hallucinations. About 30 minutes after eating them, colors get brighter, patterns start crawling on the walls.
Bro, y'all, I didn't realize how common shrooms is. A lot of people just typically say, yeah, I had shrooms. It's fucking crazy. Is that not like crazy to y'all, bro? Maybe it's just like interactions I've had with people, but like I've definitely heard people say like, oh yeah, no, I had it before. Like just like a typical thing, like yeah. You probably see death himself at that point. But the thing is, from what I heard, like shrooms, like you could have like low amounts and they say it's like similar to like a high or whatever, but the only thing I ever say is like valid where you could take it as like a drug is like fucking weed, bro. Everything else I would never risk. Like I would absolutely never risk anything else, bro. I'm not taking no shrooms. I'm not taking no coke. No, I'm good. I would try to eat shrooms thinking that I would be the next Super Mario and pounce on my pops. Low-key, it probably gives you some crazy strength. Like coke, I know coke definitely gives you some crazy type of strength. Go on the street and start boxing people, bro. Feel strong.
Time stretches like taffy, and your sense of self begins to melt. Your brain is rushed into a state of euphoria, leaving you questioning what's real and what's not. But what happens when you take too much? On a calm Saturday afternoon, a 21-year-old Hispanic man would return home from work and consume an unspecified quantity of shrooms.
Okay.
Shortly after consumption, he started experiencing a bad trip and begun acting erratically upon arriving to his house. His stepfather and
that's a scary thing too. Oh my god, you can have a bad trip, bro. A bad trip on weed is pretty bad, but it's like manageable. You'll get over it, bro. A bad trip on shrooms, you're fried, bro. You're gonna be seeing all types. You're gonna see the devil coming around you and shit. You're literally gonna be in hell, bro. And he's like, all right, sign this contract now to sell your soul. A bunch of monsters around you, bro. You're fighting the air and people are looking around you like, what the f is he doing? If you have a bad trip, you just gotta sleep it off. Weed, yeah, usually for weed you could just like sleep it off, but yeah, shrooms is you're done for.
Brother would step in and restrain him to try to calm him down.
All right.
But he'd break free of their grasp and also break a glass vase in the process. In his frenzied state, he'd then begin to rub himself against the glass shards on the floor and severely injure his arms and legs. His brother and stepfather would successfully intervene to stop him from injuring himself any further with the glass shards, and he'd be sat down at a desk. But shockingly enough, in a horrific act, he'd take a number 2 pencil that was laying on the desk, stand it upright, and repeatedly smash his head on the sharpened pencil. When he raised his head, he'd reveal that he jabbed the pencil repeatedly into both of his eye sockets. He would stand up again to do something else, but quickly vomited on himself, leaving his family in a state of...
Okay, how do you even help a person like this? Hey guys, Tom the NFG here. You know, only half of you guys are subscribed and even less of you guys have noties on. I hate to be a burden, but you know, I really appreciate it if you hit that sub button and the little bell next to it, you know. It doesn't take long. I know you can get mixed up in the algorithm and everything. But yeah, also tune into the streams, you know. We have a lot of fun over there, I'm telling you. We have a lot of parties going on over there. Yeah, that's it, bye. Damn. Bro, the only way you could help with somebody like this, you have to strap them down. He has to be strapped down, bro, or like just like held, bro. I don't know. No way you can survive this. Yeah.
Total panic. Emergency services were called, where they tried desperately to save the young man's life, but unfortunately, they would only get so far. Shrooms are one of the least toxic substances in the world. You'd need to eat dozens or even hundreds of grams to fatally overdose, but that doesn't mean people can't die from it. Most fatalities
people probably have like stronger variants, I assume,
from behavioral toxicity, panicking, jumping out windows, walking into traffic, or doing something fatal during a full-blown psychotic break. You won't pass away from the drug itself. You'll pass away from what it does to your mind.
All right.
The Gator incident. Now let's talk about meth. When it hits, you feel invincible. This substance cranks up your sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah, for meth to be like that addictive for people, where you probably feel like insane. Like you probably feel like you could top the fucking world, bro. Like you're the strongest, you're the smartest, bro.
It causes an explosive release of dopamine in your body. Your heart starts racing, you become laser focused, and you'll be filled with unstoppable energy. The high can last 8.
Yo, don't make it sound too fun. Hold up. Let me, no, I'm kidding. All right, don't try it, y'all. Don't try drugs. We don't do, Now, why is he making it sound like fun, though? You feel the best. Your credit score automatically goes up. You get a free $100,000. It's lit. It's lit. You might as well try it.
8 to 16 hours. No sleep, no food, just intense stimulation. And when you take too much, your body turns into an absolute war zone. On May 26th, in Orlando, Florida, concerned bystanders would phone a call to police officers to let them know that there was a man on a racetrack shaking violently, asking to see his son. When police arrived, he was nowhere to be found, until suddenly he was located in a lake, full of alligators. Officers would try to throw the man a life vest, but he'd refuse it and would start getting attacked by the alligators in the water. And to officers' surprise, like it was a scene straight out of a horror movie, the man actually resurfaced out of the lake, covered in severe injuries and carrying gardening shears. He would charge at the officers.
This is what I imagine, like, you just walk under a Florida bridge in the wrong area and this is what you see.
Car, and in response, they would tase him repeatedly, but it would have absolutely no effect. It was only when the man jumped into the passenger seat of the police cruiser and tried reaching for a rifle in the vehicle that officers finally used lethal force. Meth hijacks your brain's reward system and sends your body into overdrive. It burns out your dopamine center and disrupts your central nervous system so much that your body both loses touch with reality and can no longer regulate its temperature. Your organs can...
As a human, how do you hear stuff like this and you're like, all right, bet. Let me go ahead and try meth. Man, to get to the point to meth, I assume you had to have done, like, first obviously weed, or probably alcohol, then weed, then coke, mushrooms. Bro, you hear about all the bad things that happen. You're like, oh yeah, let me still try it. What?
Literally cook from the inside out.
Crack.
Cause you to collapse. You can have a heart attack, or you could simply just go on a rampage and meet an early demise like this man. The 108th incident. Weed is by far one of the most commonly used substances
Weed? Really?
in the United States. Within minutes of smoking, you're relaxed, music sounds better, jokes are funnier, and you get really, really hungry. You might feel euphoric, or anxious, or both. It depends on the strain, your mood, and your brain chemistry. So what happens when you smoke too much of it? Well, here's the truth. You can't die from THC toxicity alone.
I was about to say, most people don't OD, just like he was talking about with, I think, shrooms or whatever. You have to eat like an abnormal amount, but it's like the dumb shit you'll do. You'll probably do something dumb or let's say you're like driving, bro. Might fall asleep.
There's no known lethal dose in humans. You'd have to smoke thousands of joints in a short time to even come close. But that doesn't mean weed is harmless. In the spring of 2018 in California, a woman who had just befriended a man at a dog park she frequently visited would follow him home to his apartment for a quick spark-up session. Okay. Which, mind you, is totally legal in the state of California.
It's legal 21 or older to possess and consume cannabis, yeah.
After the two finished lighting up grass through a bong, the woman would unexpectedly shoot up from her seat.
It's kind of crazy to me that, like, there's federal laws. Like, in some states, it's just completely banned. You have, like, a single smidgen, you're done for in prison. Meanwhile, like, certain states, it's just like, nah, you can just do it. But, like, federally, it's just completely banned.
Straight to the kitchen and grabbed 3 knives.
Hey, could you come back with some chips? And maybe some ice cream. And maybe some chicken Oh!
What the?
Are you trying to chop up some salsa? I love salsa.
Jim, I'm not making salsa.
In just the blink of an eye, she would stab the man repeatedly non-stop 108 times. His body would be covered in marks from head to toe, and his face would nearly be entirely carved out. Officers that arrived at the scene...
That was a bad trip. That was a really bad trip. God damn, 108 times?
...would find that she had also stabbed her dog, and shockingly enough, had
stabbed
herself 40 times, and was still in the process of doing it. They would quickly intervene and try to physically...
That must have been like laced with something, bro. There's no way that's normal weed. It must have some in it, some type of poison.
...stop her, but it wasn't enough.
She's a bad person, yeah.
Officers would tase her 4 times to try to break her psychotic frenzy, but it would be to no avail.
What the hell?
In order to get her to stop, one police officer had to swing a baton at her arm 9 times to break it, and finally she would release her grip from the knife. The man unfortunately didn't make it, but surprisingly, the woman did.
Rip.
And even more shockingly, she faced 0 prison time for her...
What? Woman who avoided prison after stabbing lover 108 times is appealing? That was daddy speaking? Oh my god, bro. Now the prison system in this fucking country is terrible, nigga. Who is the judge? 0 time. Not even like some mental asylum time. 0? Ugh. Why does she kind of look AI? Why is her head so big? It's a real photo? What the fuck? She's still high? She look like a bobblehead. If she was black, she'd get the death sentence, not facts.
Actions because it was proven in court that she experienced what is commonly known as cannabis-induced psychosis. The woman was very inexperienced when it came to smoking weed and that potentially played a huge role in why she experienced this rare phenomenon. She was placed on probation for 2 years and was required to do 100 hours of community service.
Wow, 100 hours of community service. You sure got him. You sure got her. Wow. Yeah, that'll definitely teach her.
The man's family,
Saul Goodman lawyer, bro. She must have had like Young Thug's lawyers.
especially his father, were extremely upset when they heard about this.
I would be suing back. I would be suing the judge for like that bullshit, bro. What the hell?
So.
It should never have happened. She should have never have been allowed to walk free.
Yeah.
She should have done some time. You know, you had a jury that convicted her, a unanimous conviction, in less than 4 hours, and the judge went completely against all three.
Wait, so the whole jury voted and then the judge said nah? Bro, was the judge like having an affair with her? The judge had to have been having like some type of affair with her or something. Had to be, because there is no way.
Three of those entities and just said, you're free to go.
Double standards because she's a woman. I highly doubt that. I think it was just an incompetent judge. Like just a dumb ass judge, bro. Because there is no way. Like anybody could look at that and be like, all right, her ass deserves to be in prison for life.
The stove. YouTube
And like the fact that the weed wasn't even poison itself, like maybe there's more of a case if like the weed had fed in it, it was laced or something. It was just some normal strain.
like the case on ecstasy that I found.
Ecstasy,
So instead, we'll go over this situation where a 26-year-old martial arts fighter and his sparring partner consumed an unnatural amount of shrooms while in their apartment. Initially, everything was fine, until they became convinced that the world was coming to an end and that the two were fighting a battle of life and death between God and the devil. The two would begin their legendary battle, and finally when the struggle finished, their friend would walk into their apartment room only to find the martial arts fighter standing butt naked in the kitchen cooking his friend's heart and remains in a stove. The victim...
I'm never gonna be able to recover from that. Deadass, I'm never gonna be able to recover from some shit like that. Cooking him is crazy. Cooking his heart.
would be found laying on the couch, missing his face, tongue, and heart. And sadly, the autopsy revealed that he was alive when his chest was ripped open and his heart was taken out. The martial arts fighter wouldn't be as lucky as the woman in our last case. He'd be formally charged and sentenced to
Because shrooms is illegal.
47 years in state
Only 47 years? Come on,
prison
man.
for what he did to his
Give
friend.
him life.
Now this probably makes the US legal system come off as a little hypocritical, considering that in the other case the woman was allowed to blame psychosis for her actions, and be cleared of any severe wrongdoing, whereas in this case, the fighter's state of influence was ignored and he was directly sentenced. But honestly, that's your opinion.
I mean, but they motherfucking overdosed or whatever. I don't think she... Did it say she overdosed? I don't remember. She had like something pop up.
Make.
But then they
when
just
it comes
did
to
it.
overdose
To an illegal drug
on
too.
psilocybin, you'll find that it rarely ever ends you
Murders
through
40
toxicity
years in a lot of
alone.
states.
You'll need to eat an absurd amount for that to actually happen. The real danger is psychosis, panic, and delusion. Once you compromise the healthiness and security of your mind for a quick burst of excitement, you'll find that that's where things go haywire. So in other words, don't do drugs. Have a happy day.
Alright, that was a good video. Yeah, man. Lesson, y'all, don't do drugs. I think we all know that. We're all good people up here. Yeah, if you're watching on the 2, make sure to join the Discord and watch the streams.
Subscribe to Tommy and FG.